Right. I'm going to go through each one of these steps in terms of how you can reverse your worry. And let's take the first step. Let's say, for example, you're worried about your stock portfolio. Anybody here worried about that? Now, one thing to ask yourself about your worry, whatever it might be, you worry about your stock portfolio or what people think or whatever it might be. First thing to ask yourself is this worry going to be productive? Is it going to be useful? So I actually think that there's some worries that are actually very useful. So a worry that I had was, how am I going to get from New York City to Louisville? The worry was, do I have a plane reservation? Do I have a hotel reservation? Do I have a car service or a taxi that can pick me up and take me to the airport? Am I giving myself enough time? I call that productive worry because it leads to a to-do list. There's something that I actually can do. I can call the car service. I can call the airlines. I can do something today. Productive worry is, what is my to-do list today? The unproductive worry would be, what if people don't like me? What if my PowerPoint presentation fails? What if my mind goes blank? What if I get sick and collapse on the stage? These are not things that I can do anything about 2 days ago, when I began thinking about the plan to come here. So the first thing to ask yourself, is this worry going to be productive? Is it going to lead to a to-do list? The productive worry, you're worried about your 401k, whatever. The productive worry might be, do I have my investments diversified? Do I have a budget? Can I reduce some expenses? Those are things that you can begin doing and planning today. The unproductive worry is, what if the country goes into a Great Depression and we have unemployment of 25%, which I actually doubt will happen. But there's nothing that you can do about it. So there's productive worry and unproductive worry. The first question to ask is there any to-do list for me today? The second step would really be accepting reality the way it is. So, for example, what we know about worriers is worriers equate uncertainty with a bad outcome. They actually think if I don't know something for sure, it's likely to be bad. The outcome is likely to be bad. What the research shows, though, is that for worriers, when they have people, make a prediction and then follow up and collect the data about what actually happened, 85% of the things that people worry about have a positive or neutral outcome, which is an important observation that many of the things that you worried about in the past actually probably had a positive or neutral outcome. When bad outcomes occur, the research shows 79% of the time, worriers say, I actually handled it better than I thought I would. So worriers are actually good at handling real problems that really exist when they really happen, but they generate 85 problems that don't happen. But if you equate uncertainty with a bad outcome, then you are going to worry as a way of getting certainty. What if this? Let me get more and more information. So you have to think about, is there an advantage for me of accepting some uncertainty? And there probably is. And we accept uncertainty every day when we meet people, we talk to people, we eat food in restaurants, we drive down the road. We don't know what's going to happen next. We accept a lot of uncertainty. Along with accepting uncertainty is accepting some limitation. The old adage that it's important to know what you can control and what you cannot control and to know the difference between the two. But accepting limitation about what I can do, like I cannot get back the money that was lost in my 401k. I like to think of that money, it's died and gone to heaven. And I say prayers every night for the money, hoping for its blessed soul. But the money is gone. Accepting limitation, I can't do anything about it. What can I do? What things can I control in my life today? One thing we know about people who are depressed or people who worry is that they avoid unpleasant activities. They avoid discomfort. So, for example, let's say that somebody is worried about making a fool of themselves if they go to a party or if they meet people. They think they won't be interesting, they'll be boring, whatever. And so they think, maybe I just won't go. I'll make believe I'm not feeling well, or I have another appointment, or too much work, or whatever it might be. People who worry often avoid doing things that are uncomfortable. Now, if you think about your own life and you think about the things that you've done in your life that are meaningful, things that you feel proud about, they're probably things that were uncomfortable to do, whether it's to get training or to have a relationship or to raise kids or the work that you've done or any way in which you've advanced yourself or made your life meaningful. And I say to my patients that the goal of therapy initially is actually to learn how to tolerate discomfort. I call it constructive discomfort. To learn how to do something every day that you actually don't want to do. So if you want to get into shape physically, somebody says, do you want to get into shape physically? Yes, I do. Do you want to diet, reduce your calorie intake? No, I don't. Do you want to exercise? No, I don't. Right. So the goal here, in my view, is to recognize that progress is based on doing what you don't want to do. It's doing what you're willing to do. Are you willing to reduce your calorie intake? Are you willing to exercise? Constructive discomfort, you're going to be uncomfortable anyway if you're depressed or anxious, but you may as well use your discomfort as something that makes your life better. For example, people who study ballet or classical dance, when you ask them, was it a good workout? They'll say, yes, it was. How do you know it was? Because it hurt good. It hurt good. And that's a great phrase that captures the idea that you're actually doing something, you're pushing yourself, and you're collecting discomfort as a way of making progress. So we ask people who are worriers or people who are depressed and who are kind of withdrawn and isolated, whatever, to avoid avoiding. That the goal every day is to do things that are uncomfortable. And if you're doing things that are uncomfortable every day, you should count that as progress.